today's program, may I kindly invite everyone to please stand and join us in observing a moment of silence in remembrance of Her Majesty Queen 𝗞𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗃, the Queen Mother, whose lifelong devotion, grace, and compassion have profoundly inspired generations of Thais and people around the world. May we take this moment to honor Her Majesty's legacy and express our deepest respect and gratitude. We will pay our respects for 1 minute. Thank you very much, everyone. Please. สวัสดีค่ะ Good morning, Dr. 𝗏𝗏𝗆𝗀𝗆𝗏𝗀, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry of Thailand, Mr. 𝗏𝗏𝗆𝗀𝗃, CEO of Delta Electronics Thailand, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen from across the Southeast Asia region. My name is 𝗏𝗏𝗆𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Southeast Asia. I'd like to warmly welcome all of you to Delta Future Industry Summit 2025. And this year's summit's theme is Transforming Industry with AI, Automation, and Energy in Southeast Asia. Across Southeast Asia, AI, automation, and smart energy are coming together to reshape entire industries from factory floor to the data center, creating a new era that's intelligent, connected, and sustainable. This transformation reimagines how we make, move, and power things, turning traditional operations into smarter, faster, cleaner, and more efficient systems built for the future. And as technology meets creativity, industries can achieve greater productivity, reduce their environmental footprints, and open new paths for innovation, growth, and next-generation talent across the region. Today, we continue this journey of discovery together, exploring new ideas, sharing real experiences, and learning from the leaders who are shaping the future of industry in Southeast Asia. Throughout the day, we will have expert speakers delivering keynotes and participating in 2 panel discussions where we will hear valuable insights from distinguished panelists. We also encourage you, our valued guests, to actively share your opinions through live polls, Q&A, and surveys. Please scan the QR codes on your badge to access today's agenda and survey at any time. And we will display QR codes on the screen during polling sessions. So, to set a tone for today's summit, let's begin with the polling session today to have a quick pulse check on how you see the forces shaping industrial transformation in Southeast Asia. Now, your responses will also help spark conversations as we explore what's next for our region's future industries. So please scan the QR code to submit your answer for the first poll question. Let's see how everyone in this room thinks about this question. And the question is, what do you see as the biggest driver of Southeast Asia's next decade of industrial growth? Is it AI and automation? Is it green energy? Is it smart infrastructure? Is it skilled workforce? Or is it supportive government policies? What is the biggest driver of Southeast Asia's next decade of industrial growth? Oh, we don't really need supportive government policies. We need AI and automation. That seems to be the opinion of people in this room. At 64%, 63%, over 60% then. Coming second is green infrastructure, supportive government policies, green energy, skilled workforce. We don't need skilled workforce, right? We have AI. All right, so this is the biggest driver that almost everyone in this room agree on, AI and automation. Thank you so much for your participation. So now I'd like to invite Mr. Victor Cheung, CEO of Delta Electronics Thailand, to please give the welcome remarks on transforming industry with AI, automation, and energy in Southeast Asia. Please give Mr. Victor Cheung a very warm welcome.
Good morning. My name is Victor Chen, and I'm the CEO of Delta Electronics Thailand. First of all, I'd like to extend a warm welcome for all the government representatives, industry partners, media, and also our colleagues from the company to join this event. This is the 7th Industrial Summit that Delta Thailand has held. And this year, the theme is in automation and smart manufacturing. At this moment, our region has experienced rapid industrial growth, and with the help of disruptive innovation, particularly AI, and also energy sustainability, that's reshaping the whole industry development and operation. Together, we hope to have the chance to explore how to seize this opportunity and collaborate to accelerate the growth. According to International Monetary Fund's October outlook, Asian region's growth in 2026 is about the same as 2025, which in the face of so much industrial influx for manufacturing sector seems a little bit subdued in our view. And this suggests perhaps manufacturing infrastructure built out just for this export is not enough to sustain overall growth unless some core fundamentals such as infrastructure built out, workforce upskill development, and both this global and domestic demand stimulus can be advanced at the same time. To achieve this, we hope that business and policymakers can prioritize resilience by strengthening infrastructure, diversifying market, and moving up the value chain with help of AI and whatnot technology. For business, investing in the intelligent operation, energy efficient strategies such as smart automation and smart energy solution will be the key to upgrade our infrastructure for sustainable growth. And this is exactly the path that Delta is hoping to help with our partners. Amid a volatile regional outlook, Southeast Asia and Oceania are at crossroads. We face a unique convergence of opportunities and some challenges for industrial growth, for the digital innovation, and sustainable energy transition. On the industrial growth side, many Southeast Asian countries, including Thailand, countries like Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, are becoming sort of the global partners for manufacturing. More and more of the manufacturing setup is growing in these countries. It's ideal time to reinforce this region's foundation and position to capture this wave of industrial development. And on the digital innovation side, in response to these AI megatrend, automation, IoT, and various AI tech can transform how industry operates to improve productivity, flexibility, and also efficiency. Both government and business hopefully can invest heavily in this infrastructure build out for smart manufacturing, for digital infrastructure, and also human skill upscaling. On the sustainable energy side, Southeast Asia faces global pressure to reduce emission and also the shift toward a more renewable and clean energy source. The renewable energy generation, energy storage, and efficiency improvement are becoming essential to meet this climate and energy security needs, especially with the demand on energy being so much increased for industrial development as well as data center activities. Simply put, this industrial output energy demand rising across the region, company must balance efficiency, cost, and carbon reduction goal. Southeast Asia and Oceania regions are facing the strategic choice by investing in digital innovation, sustainable energy solutions, which are essential to lay the foundation for the future growth. And leveraging these technologies, the region can drive sustainable industrial development and position itself as a leader for the future of global manufacturing demand. The most promising disruptive digital technology, of course, today is AI. AI can transform manufacturing from a reactive mode to an intelligent mode. It's not a hype, it's not a niche. So across the level of operation from human resources to production, we want to enhance productivity, quality, sustainability through the help of AI technology. And we can see that the goal and the forecast is that we can detect increase the productivity by 20%, cut downtime by 50%, and also reduce inventory by up to 30% with the utilization of various AI technology. Now, these goals are really achievable if we do this right. For example, Delta Electronics from year 2020 to year 2025, our revenue has increased almost threefold from about $15 billion to $4.5 billion. And our human resource increase was merely about 25%. This is really done through these automation and also technology improvement. In the past, it was called machine learning. Now, the more popular term is AI. So we are able to transform our production from more human-centric to anywhere from low-end, maybe 30%, high-end to 70% of automation, and just triple our output, but with a fairly reasonable, moderate human resource increase. So these are all the help that we can, and the benefit we can get from AI and also smart automation. A digital twin definitely is one arm that we can help before the line is set up. We can use computer simulation to model the line and enable
enable our real setup is as close to real situation as possible so that we reduce downtime and improve efficiency. Building automation solutions also enable optimized energy use and reduce wasted energy for example, cooling and various other energy consumption. So overall, 20% increase in productivity from our resources is quite easily achieved with the help of these technologies. As energy demand continues to rise across Southeast Asia's industry, companies and government also need to find solutions that deliver not only efficiency, but also energy security and sustainability all considered. Even the rich resource countries in the region still heavily rely on fossil fuel, such as natural gas and coal. Over time, with the international requirement and new technology emerging, this increasing regulatory pressure would need to will force most of the countries to implement more sustainable policies for renewable energy. And Southeast Asia electric grid are largely under strain according to Asian Development Bank. Much of the region's infrastructure is not quite ready for the rapid transition to renewable nature. So these challenges create opportunity and challenges at the same time. One promising path forward is microgrid. Microgrid enable integration of renewable energy, smart energy solution, energy storage, and even building automation solutions to form an independent, secure, and sustainable energy network. There's a forecast for $95 billion of investment by 2030 for global market of microgrid. And this is definitely a giant opportunity for all the partners and companies to work together. And building on what we have just mentioned, these great potential for emerging technologies for the region, we wanted to quickly recap how we can seize these opportunities to define future for our region. One, we hope we have to transform to capture growth, moving faster than ever, accelerating smart automation, artificial intelligence, and energy innovation will be essential to unlock the full industrial potential for the near term and long term. Companies and countries should work hand in hand and move first to define next decades of growth based on these trends. And second, it's time to rethink the energy solution. As the industry expands, demand for energy rise sharply. To sustain this growth, we must need a sustainable and smart system that can balance both cost, efficiency, and the security of our energy system, not to mention the long-term sustainability, ensuring that this growth does not negatively impact our future environment. And collaboration of all the partners to transform and to work together hand in hand, not in isolated pocket, but to fully utilize our capability and the individual contribution. And hopefully through this summit, we can create a platform to spark these connections. Thank you very much, and I hope we will have a fruitful and successful summit today. Thank you for your participation. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you very much, Mr. Victor Cheung, for your insightful welcome remarks. Now, it's inspiring to hear how AI, automation, and smart energy are shaping the next chapter of Southeast Asia's industrial growth, making our industries smarter, cleaner, and more resilient for the future. Mr. Victor's message reminds us that innovation, sustainability, and collaboration will be the driving forces that define the region's success in the years ahead. Next, it is my honor to invite Dr. 𝗏𝗏𝘆 Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry of Thailand, to please come on stage to deliver the opening address on enabling smart and sustainable industry in Southeast Asia for global impact. Please give Dr. 𝗏𝗏𝘆 a very warm welcome.
สวัสดีครับ Mr. Victor Cheng CEO of Delta Electronics Thailand คุณ Jackie a good friend of mine and an executive of Delta Electronics who can speak Thai very fluently คุณเฉิน คุณ Jason and คุณวัตสัน and executive from Delta Electronics and partners of Delta Electronics Thailand academics. And I've seen my ex-boss, His Excellency the Minister, and all the participants in this room, honorable guests, the press, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Ministry of Industry Thailand, it's my great pleasure and privilege to preside over the opening ceremony of Delta Future Industry Summit 2025, Transforming Industry with AI, Automation, and in energy in Southeast Asia, and to deliver the opening address on enabling smart and sustainable industry in Southeast Asia for global impact. Actually, I've just been to an economic minister meeting, actually a cabinet, and His Excellency the Prime Minister has mentioned that he's been in the past few weeks he's been around the globe, talking to many of the executives and political partners in various countries. One of the speech, actually all of the speech of the leaders has always mentioned something like what Delta is said here about sustainability, about smart, about resilience, about inclusiveness. He's mentioned that, His Excellency mentioned that all the speechwriters would be out of job now because all the speech are the same. And actually it's in this very room. And I think we all know that's the trend of the world. And I think another word that we've seen is resilience. And when I see the voting with QR code, just about now that people in this room vote for number one is smart and automation. It shows the resilience. In Thai words, we were thinking of the word resilient for quite some time, and especially in government sector and in political sector, we use the word you pen, which means you stay and you keep your position and you stay alive whenever and whatever the change may be and volatile situation, you can stay, and that's the word resilience. And I see that I assume that most of the people in this room is Delta Electronics, and when your boss put up the smart and automation, you pick that, and that's 64% on the QR codes, and that's that resilience. And what I believe I must say at the beginning of this is the partnership with Delta Electronics Thailand. Delta has been a valuable partner to the Thai government for a very long time. Actually, last week we have a ceremony congratulate many of the new startups and people who graduate from Delta Angel Fund. And not only that, but also Delta Electronics was the very first MIND ambassador. MIND is the abbreviation for Ministry of Industry, M and IND, and that's the very first MIND ambassador for Thailand, and they receive award. They receive award, the highest prize award from factory and in the industry from the Prime Minister, the Best in Industry Awards, which a couple of years back, and Kun Victor received the award himself. And last year was another companies come up, and Mr. Akio Toyoda also fly in from Japan to receive the awards, and that's a very prestigious award, which reflect many of the things is not just a competitiveness of the companies in terms of business success, but also that they can live in harmony with the community and they can comply to all the regulations of the world, not just environmental, but labor and everything else that the world has forced companies to move forward to. And especially the last one is the inclusiveness, that they have a very innovative, the word innovative, not just for product and process, but innovative in terms of how you make the inclusiveness words mean something to the community and to the Thai people. And I'm thank you very much to Delta Electronics. If I can have an applause to the Delta Electronics now, it would be really great. Thank you very much. Actually, the word smartness, when we is capturing the global attention and has become an unavoidable trend. Industry transformation through AI and automation is essentially a competitiveness and a target industry in terms of robotic, electronics, agriculture, and I've seen from the outside that Delta Electronics have a very strong presence in from transforming from what I know about Delta Electronics based on power supply, mainly power supply and some electronics into the AI and automation. I would like to mention that government of Thailand is also moved forward into this area, and in the past decades, we promoting the use of automation through various measures of government in terms of tax reduction and some BOI incentives program, and we have organization in Ministry of Industry who set the targets and also to receive the proposal from individual companies to invest in automation, and we give the incentive to them, and that would be extended to the AI in a recent month, and that's our target, because we realize that like you Mr. Victor mentioned on the screen, that AI is the trend of the world. What we at the Ministry of Industry understand, if you sit in front of the computer all days, you have potentially be replaced by the AI, and that's contradicting to many people who say that if they are literate in terms of computer usage and computer literacy, they would not be replaced. But I'm sure that in the AI world, you know that is not true, because if you can sit in front of the computer designing something and working on something, you can be easily replaced by the new generations of AI, and the equipment that stay in front of this room, this very room, is also part of the AI, not just for coding, but for also I've seen the cooling system, I've seen the AI face recognitions, and also the digital one-to-one twin that Mr. Jackie has shown me just in front of the room, and that's a trend. But also in government sector, Ministry of Industry also use and implement many of the electronics platform. Now we can issue you the permits with the basis of e-licensed electronics. We will go into factory inspecting factory with the help of the guideline from the platform that every engineers around the countries, not just from my office, but also in Department of Industrial Works and IEAT, Industrial Estate Authority of Thailand, will now use this platform when they're inspecting your companies. And we are putting sensors. I've heard that there are some industrial estate in this room. The Fraser is one, and I don't know, maybe other company as well. We will put some electronics online sensor on the emissions of your industrial estate this year, not just for the air pollutions, but now for the water, and especially we will strengthening our regulations on the emissions of solid waste and liquid waste from out of the factory, and that's a trend, because when you're talking about sustainability, you cannot avoid this. Mr. Victor mentioned about the competitiveness and how to improve the competitiveness of the countries. What we've seen from Thailand when we see in the score, The lowest one that need to be improved is the environmental and how you regulate the environmental in Thailand. And that's the one that we have probably the lowest score. Actually, it's the lowest score that pulling Thailand down. And that's because a good business cannot stay competitiveness if you have bad business that do not taking care of environment or social or even inclusiveness in this country. And that's what when the lack of inclusiveness in the country, when you invest something, we call that $0 investment. And I think it's not just happening to Thailand. I've talked to like Vietnamese and other ASEAN countries, and they're facing the same thing. Even in India, they're also facing the similar $0 investment, and that's not a very good sense of investing in a country where local economic have to grow, and people looking forward when they see the investment that it has to grow. But definitely not just that $0 investment, but also when you put money in the country and you want to move forward, it has to be in line with the global trend, and that's where the smart electronics, smart industrial, the sustainable industry come into the pictures. And that's the resilience that Mr. Vicky Chan is talking about. When I'm pleased to share that when we putting some digital equipment in the Ministry of Industry, we one of the higher rank. I'm sure that you will see that Thai government is not putting enough digital equipment, digital infrastructure into the how we administrate the Ministry of Industry, and 14% I've seen the smart infrastructure on the screen when you put the QR code, and that's the responsibility of Ministry of Industry and other ministry as well. I'm pleased to share that we receive a higher rank than average. We're probably about number 1 or number 2 in the Digital Government Award 2025. And we providing business opportunity, not just for company to invest, but also to bring in automation into Ministry of Industry. We have a good database platform that we need an analysis from a good AI companies, and that's pretty much for all of the ministry in Thailand, and that's the opportunity that you can move into Thailand. And also many of the industry, as I said, will receive some kind of support when they put some automation and AI into the factory, and that's also a good indication that business relating to Delta and Delta partner has future in Thailand. Currently, Thai and in the past we competing on aggressive growth, and now, like I said, we have to move into a sustainable growth, and all of the organization relating to Ministry of Industry and industry in Thailand will move at the same pace, and we have the policy that to move every organization together, not just when we're talking about Department of Industrial Work who regulate the industry, that's one thing, but also when we put some standard, Thailand Industrial Standard Institute into the picture, then we have a better sense of how we move forward, not just for process and product together. And we hope that this event will generate innovative ideas on how you proceed with your partnership with Deltas, and also partnership with Thailand. And I hope that you will, at the end of the day, at the end of the seminar, you will see the opportunity that arises from doing business in Thailand and investing in Thailand. We are building the efficient competitiveness and environmental friendly, responsible industry sector in Thailand. And I would like to thank Delta Electronics once again for creating this annual event for the 7th time. And I'm looking forward for a very new idea and collaboration that it will arise from your participation in this event. And the next. Thank you very much, and I wish a very successful and fruitful in summit this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gnataphon. Please remain on stage. Thank you so much, Dr. Gnataphon, for sharing with us on this topic, which enables Southeast Asia's industries to compete globally, protect the environment, and set new standards for responsible growth. May I now kindly ask Mr. Victor Chung, CEO of Delta Electronics Thailand, to please come on stage to present a token of appreciation to Dr. Gnataphon. Please remain on stage, and may I now invite all our distinguished speakers and panelists to please join on stage for a group photo session. May I ask all distinguished speakers and panelists to please join on stage for a group photo session. Thank you. All speakers, all panelists, please. Okay, the delta sign. This is real, not AI generated. So video one more time. Thank you. The delta sign. Khop kun ka. Thank you very much, everyone on stage. Now, before we move on to the next session, may I invite everyone to, yes, please take a moment to answer the next poll question. Now, this question aims to understand the key challenges in your industry, and we hope that the upcoming session on sustainability will provide useful insights to help you revisit your sustainability strategy from a new perspective. So please scan the QR code to submit your answer. And the question is, when it comes to adopting smart and sustainable technologies, what is your organization's biggest challenge? What is the biggest challenge when it comes to adopting smart and sustainable technologies in your organization? Is it funding? Is it lack of technical talent? It is slow organizational change, unclear regulations, or poor projected ROI? okay, competing between limited funding and, okay, and shortage of technical talent. People and money, I guess, the two biggest factors. So next, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. 𝗀𝗀𝗏, Chief Brand Officer of Delta Electronics, to give us an exclusive outlook at greening intelligence, charting the future of sustainable AI, an economist impact report commissioned by Delta Electronics. Please welcome Ms. 𝗀𝗀𝗏.
Sawadee-ka. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. I'm 𝗀𝗀 from Taipei, Delta Electronics, Inc. It is wonderful to be here with you in Bangkok. This is a city where tradition meets innovation almost every day. And today, we're all here to talk about the future, not just about the future of AI, but the future of our planet in the AI era. And because right now the world is facing two facts. First, we all admit that AI is transforming almost everything. It transforms the economy, the industry, the education, almost the way we live. And secondly, we all know that the success of AI depends on something really fundamental, that is energy. That is why sustainability is now no longer a nice to have. It is the foundation of long-term competitiveness and survival. So let's first take a look at the numbers. Can I move the slides with the remote? Okay, good. We can take a look at this chart. The global AI industry is expected to reach $2.7 trillion by year 2032. It's growing nearly 37% a year. If AI were a country by year 2032, it will be larger than the GDP of all Southeast Asia combined. So yes, it's exponential growth, it's exponential opportunity. Therefore, it needs to come with exponential responsibility. So this is not only a technology story, it is an energy story, a climate story, and eventually a human story. And Thailand is now watching from the sideline, just as we heard from the permanent secretary saying that the Prime Minister of Thailand has been talking a lot about AI and the sustainability issues. The Thai government has committed more than $15 trillion into AI infrastructure by year 2027, including $2.7 billion for data center and cloud services. This is Thailand saying that we're not just consuming technology, we will build it, we will shape it, and we will lead it. It is a moment of national ambition, a moment of regional leadership. But here's the challenge. The IEA International Energy Agency reports that data center electricity demand will double by year 2030. Reaching 945 terawatt hours, almost the same amount of electricity Japan consumes today. Think about a single AI rack of 500 kilowatts, improving its efficiency by just 1%. Sounds like a small improvement, but it can bring global impact. Efficiency is no longer an engineering detail, it is now the new frontier of innovation. Delta has one mission, that's to provide innovative, clean, energy-efficient solutions for a better tomorrow. That mission was set by our founder, Mr. Bruce Chen, 50 years ago. Our founder is now 90 years old. He still comes to office occasionally, pushing all our R&D engineers to pursue efficiency every day. His mission comes way before ESG, sustainability, all these terms came to become mainstream. But we are also an AI provider. That is why the issue of the possibility of sustainable AI really concerns. And because the issue requires understanding from global perspective, we partnered with Economist Impact, one of the most respected research institutes in the world. And this project is a global effort to cover 4 continents and the research team across 5 countries. To understand the challenge, issues, and opportunities of sustainable AI, we surveyed over 600 senior executives around the world. 40% are C-level. The respondents include AI providers and AI users. The survey also interviewed with leaders from Microsoft, NVIDIA, Alibaba, Tata Communications, DHL, and academia. One insight stood out. Today, 44% of companies say AI sustainability is important. But in the next 12 months, that jumps to 78%. Microsoft told us that improving efficiency by just 1% saves enough energy to power several servers. In AI, sustainability is innovation. But here's the surprise. 96% of AI users expect suppliers to have sustainability targets, but only 59% of the suppliers plan to set these targets soon. This is not just a gap, it's a market signal. And those who act first will shape the game rule. Many will assume cost is the main barrier, and we saw that we did some survey earlier to know the answers from this room. But our study shows costs ranked the last. Those executives prioritize life cycle and carbon footprint analysis, infrastructure and hardware assessment, real-time energy monitoring as their priority. Because this is a long-term commitment and energy efficiency is now the business strategy. And now, let's look at the elephant in the room, the grid. Every region told us the same thing. Electricity access will determine who wins AI. Europe worries about resilient grids. Asia focuses on energy capacity. North America on stability and water use. NVIDIA clearly said that energy availability is the #1 factor for choosing data center locations. And climate change adds new pressure. Storms in Pennsylvania, blackouts in Bali, Spain, and Portugal, communities protest in West Virginia. People are not rejecting technology. People are asking whether it strengthens or drains the communities. To answer that, there is no silver bullet. Leaders are combining several solutions, including energy audits, partnership with experts, hardware optimization, advanced cooling, and edge computing. As Alibaba shared that we track carbon emissions per computing power and power consumption per computing power to guide development. Sustainability requires a holistic approach. Sustainable AI requires collaborations too, across industries and across borders. As Tata told us, we build AI solution with partners. No one company can solve it alone. This is not a race. it is an ecosystem. Today, AI breakthroughs are not happening in isolation. They're being built through deep collaborations. When you look at the picture, we see NVIDIA, OpenAI, AMD, TSMC, Microsoft, AWS. They're not just creating products, and they are building infrastructure together. And Delta is right there in the ecosystem. In fact, last year at Computex, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang visited our booth to meet Delta Chairman Ping Chen and me. We discussed how Delta's high-efficiency power and cooling solutions can support the world's most advanced AI computing platforms. Delta is uniquely positioned in this era. Power conversion, cooling systems, and full data center infrastructure. This is our contribution, and this is also our responsibility to provide superior energy efficiency from grid to chip. The traditional power architecture from grid to chip requires more conversions and will lose energy at every conversion stage. Delta's high voltage direct current HVDC architecture removes 3 to 4 conversion stage, improving efficiency by 4 to 5%. And you can imagine that in AI scale, 5% is not just a rounding error, it's an output of a power plant. And we all know that grid is a big concern. Building grid connection can take 5 to 10 years, but AI cannot wait. Microgrids with storage, renewables, even hydrogen fuel cells and solid-state transformers can enable fast and resilient deployment. This is the bridge between ambition and reality. And one of the most exciting innovation we have at Delta is containerized AI data centers. This is a full system, including computing, power, cooling, delivered in weeks, not in years. As we see in the result from the survey earlier, that lack of technical talent is almost on top of the concern we have in this room. So what we provide, the containerized AI data center, is you plug in, power up, and you compute. Bring AI not just to mega cities, and it can bring AI also to factories, hospitals, and countries that are building its own digital sovereignty. Lastly, I would like to close with this thought. AI will define the next century, but sustainability will determine whether it becomes a century of abundance or imbalance. At Delta, it is our mission not just to power AI from grid to chip, but to green intelligence. The future is not written. Let's write it together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. 𝗓𝗓𝗏 for your insightful outlook. Ms. 𝗓𝗓𝗏's message on greening intelligence reminds us that as AI continues to advance, its growth must go hand in hand with sustainability and energy responsibility. Now, it's exciting to see how Delta is leading this vision in driving energy efficiency, AI systems, and smart solutions that enable technology and sustainability to progress together towards a greener, smarter future. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Victor Cheng to please come on stage once again to present a token of appreciation to Ms. 𝗓𝗓𝗏. Thank you to both. Thank you to Kun Victor and Ms. 𝗓𝗓𝗏. Next, we have the pleasure to invite 𝗏𝗀𝘀 from Amazon Web Services, widely known as AWS. Now, as we know, AWS is at the forefront of driving automation to autonomy by providing intelligent cloud services that enable systems to operate and optimize with minimal human interaction. So, our next session here is a fireside chat on automation to autonomous solution. I'd like to invite both participants to come up on stage. So please join me in welcoming Mr. 𝗏𝗀𝘀, Country Manager of Amazon Web Services Thailand, or AWS. สวัสดีค่ะ. And to lead this engaging conversation, please welcome our moderator for Delta Electronics, Mr. 𝗏𝗀𝘀, Regional Data Center Platform Head, Delta Electronics.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah. Welcome to our fireside chat today, and we also very exciting topic to discuss about from automation to autonomous solution. And we are truly honored to have an industry leader like 𝗏𝗀𝘀. He is a forefront in terms of the cloud computing and also the AI transformation to bring us through this topic today. And 𝗏𝗀𝘀, it's my pleasure again to have you here. And I know that you have very busy schedule, right? After this conversation, you have to go to the airport, right? So since we have a lot of things to cover in this 15 minutes, so let me start with the conversation right away. So my first question would be on that could impact to the nowadays life from us, right? So from AWS perspective, right, how is AI reshaping the efficiency of the organization today?
Yeah, I think it's probably one of the buzzwords. By the way, thanks for having us here. I see a lot of excitement, and this morning I got a chance to speak to a number of Delta executives, and in fact, was very impressed with the technology, the R&D, as well as a lot of showcase outside there. And as I mentioned, and what we have heard times and again, especially in the first poll, that AI is going to be something that people talk a lot about. We have, in fact, been in the AI era since 1970. That's actually quite long times ago. But just only during these 3 years that we started to see like a big jump because of the generative AI that comes into play. And let me share the slide, I think. Okay. And to the questions of how the technology of AI is going to disrupt what we are experiencing as the organization, let me share with you this quick diagram. You can see from here that the word efficiency is probably one of the areas that we expect that AI will be the key technology and component that it can help. Especially as you can see that now within just a few years, the cost of this inefficiency has been double. And probably the factors behind are the fact that the machine or technology has been much more powerful. So if there are any outage or breakdown, the cost of that outage is getting more and more serious. And in addition, we are also seeing that, aside from the machine, one of the factors which I'm glad that when there's a second poll, it was quite synonymous that the number one areas of concern of most executives is related to talents, to the workforce. And as you can see here, especially in the manufacturing sector, the tenure or the times that the staff used to be with the companies for 20 years, and this is a survey that was done in 2019 compared to 2023, there's a big drop because people tend to be either Thailand is getting to age economies, they got retired, whereas nowadays the tenure or the average duration of the employees has dropped only to just 3 years. I think that's a very big drop. And what happens is that all the knowledge, all the experience that these people who retired doesn't remain with the companies, it goes with him. So that created even more challenge for the organization that you got a more complicated machine, it's much more advanced in the past, but the talents who are going to fix the problem is getting less experience. So that becomes like a two-edged issues to the companies. And that's where we thought AI is going to be a key enabler to help that issues. And when we talk about AI, the terms that I was asked when we joined this session is that we are talking about automation. And people talk a lot about automation, but automation is what we call as a predefined, a program, repetitive task, but we just make it automated. Whereas nowadays AI is going to help, I mean, this is going to be like the future of AI that is not going to help in terms of automation only. It's not going to get things done faster. It's going to be what we call autonomous, and that's why the word that maybe in the future, instead of like industrial automation, it can be industrial autonomous. Autonomy.
Yeah, autonomous.
Because autonomous is like you define the end goals. And AI will be the one who would break down what it takes to reach that end goal. So it's not like a predefined step and task like what we did in automation. And because at the end of the day, for manufacturing, there are just like 3 key areas that we want to make sure that it's efficient. You want less unpredictability. You want to make sure that you empower employees to do more advanced side of the task instead of being just a machine operator. And last but not least, for manufacturing, the speed, accuracy, will mean that you will win in that space.
Thank you. That's very insightful information to us. But from this thing, right? Let me zoom out to the region scale. So let's say like for the Southeast Asia, right? What role of the cloud and AI play in the scaling intelligence across the industry value chain? Let's say like how does this make the AI efficiency to be accessible to everyone? Like maybe like startup we mentioned this morning, right? We also have many startup or SME or probably the large enterprise. So how they can access this kind of support?
So I think the keyword here is cloud and AI, right? So cloud, I understand most people are already using a number of, we call a consumer cloud. Every day you use Line, you use WhatsApp, you use Facebook. It's already the application that's running in the cloud. But in terms of the manufacturing or in the enterprise, cloud is going a bit further because now you are talking about not just consumer cloud, but you're talking about how you put your applications of the organization which you need to serve your users into a public data center where they will help you to provide the data to the consumer. So, but cloud in that case will means that instead of you building your own data center, you are relying on the hyperscaler to connect you to the internet, provide the space for storage, able to compute, and especially in this very high demanded AI, it will provide the GPU instead of you building it on your own, right? So that's how cloud will help. Means like instead of putting investment day one, you just pay per use or pay as you grow. And that's the keywords for how cloud will help. And especially in a very competitive market like in marketing, I'm sure like we are getting closer to 11/11, which is like the day people used to shopping right, online. So instead of having like you to spend hundred or thousand or million of dollar buying the server or storage just to handle one day of peak load, you can use the public cloud to offset that amount of incremental traffic, so that you don't have to spend too much money just to prepare for the workload for that one day. Right? That's how cloud will help in terms of the flexibility. But now comes to AI. We are seeing that AI, as people know, that it's the artificial intelligence, which we are started to see that it's going to help you do more analytics. It helps you to do collective understanding of the data from different points, and then comes to the outcome suggestion. But for AI, I'm not speaking in the context of the manufacturing only, right? Because AI goes much broader than just only manufacturing. But what we are seeing is people understand that AI has been here for a long time. So on the left-hand side is the AI of the past. It includes like AI, machine learning, automation, and so on, right? And now it's evolving to become generative AI, or most people are familiar with ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, and so on. So that's more of how you are asking questions, and if you reply with a very analytical response, even though nowadays there are still hallucination and things that you might not sure whether it's real or not, but that's how you'll be able to provide answers for you. Right? We are moving into the stage where we are seeing what we call agentic AI, because generative AI like ChatGPT, it answers the question, but it cannot take action. So what we are going to see in these few years moving ahead is in terms of the agentic AI, where it will go one step further. So instead of just only provide you with the reply, with the response, now it can act on your behalf. So it's not just only provide you with the answer, but it acts as if it's one of your worker. So that's how the technology will evolve and change. Right? We see that it might be an area that we are using it for the digital space, but I'm sure that in the future, when we reach the far right hand, which is physical AI, which you started to see like humanoids and all those new physical AI, then it will bridge between this agentic AI, where it can only act on the digital space, like respond to email, help you to order your PO, your purchase order, send out the invoice, and so on. Now it will be able to act by physically doing things on your behalf. So that's how we see the timeline and the horizon of how AI will evolve. And in the future, actually for Amazon itself, right, our mother company in the US, it already started doing some of this robotics in the past. In the past, the robotics is more of doing the warehouse optimization. But now it's already been using the humanoid to sometimes replace some of the repetitive work in the warehouse and in the store.
Yeah, so we heard a lot of the new thing from the first or the second answer from you. So this also triggered a very critical and practical point about preparation. So I have the last question for you about, so what do companies need to be prepared for the AI's transformation?
First, and I don't think we have like one silver bullet, right? Because AI is still, for even technology company like AWS, it's still in a very early stage, because people tend to come up with new ideas every single, I won't say year, right? Even months or even days. So the technology has been evolved quickly. So what we are seeing that AI is going to be supporting or helping the industry in the future is related to this supply chain, smart manufacturing, and so on. But because of time, I think we have to go very quickly, and maybe I'll share the idea that for us to be able to cope with all this AI technology, key for us is we need to start from the source of the problem. Many times we thought AI will help to fix every single issues, but in fact it is not, right? Sometimes you can just use like a very simple machine learning, simple OCR to help fix the problem. It doesn't need to be generative AI, it doesn't need to be agentic AI. So we always recommend that start from the problem, pain point, and then work backward to derive at what will be the areas of things that you want to start with the proof of concept or proof of value to ensure that those pain points can be addressed by what technology. And over and beyond that, data is another area that we often see that people always have a challenge because it's garbage in, garbage out. Even if you have like most sophisticated AI, if the data is inaccurate, then the output also will be inaccurate. And then probably the last but not least, AI is, as mentioned, is a two-edged sword, same as any technology. It can be beneficial, but it also can be harmful. Right? So we always keep asking our customer that every single user, every single creator of AI needs to be wholly responsible for AI. So we have like even a course where we ask our partner customer to make sure that they understand how the responsible AI practice are. And again, it goes back to the final loop that it will be an endless loop where you take that feedback and then make it even better in terms of how AI can serve your purpose.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Wadsan, for your incredible advice today. So we got to the 3 key points, right, just now. The first one is look at the pain point or the problem, right? And then the second, we look at data. And last one, you mentioned about the AI responsibility.
And sorry, one last thing I forgot is the skill, right? Because we talk a lot about skill, which is #1 issue. And we found from our survey that out of the 1,000 companies that we survey, half of them have the challenge that they can't find the skill when they, even if they know that this is the pain point, this is an AI project that they want to start, they can't find the skill that are able to help them start that project. But interestingly, what we also found is that just only 34% of the companies send their staff to be trained in AI. So it's a big contradiction that you don't have the people to do the AI project, but on the other hand, you are not sending your people to up-level your AI skills. So I think we urge that this is probably the #1 task for companies to leverage AI.
So the last one would be skill or re-skill, right? The people to be able to work with the AI. So yeah, thank you again for Wadsan for giving us this advice today. And then we still have some time to pass the question to the floor here. So I'm not sure if anyone have the question to Wadsan today.
If not, then my last word, AWS had been investing in Thailand for $5 billion. We call it one of the largest data center in Thailand. So hopefully, and our mission is that we will be using 100% renewable energy. We have heard from Ms. Chan that sometimes data center will be a big user of the energy, but we ensure that we are living in a very sustainable principle that our data center will be friendly to the environment and to the world.
Yeah, I think we got one question here from the audience about the cyber attacks and even the big corporate like Mark and Spencer. So will AI will increase such kind of risks, or what you can advise?
It can be both. The question is related to cyber security, which I think people are more and more concerned, right? But as mentioned, AI will be both benefits and also risks, where we started to see like attackers can use AI because sometimes now you can even get the tools very easily on the internet. We even have something like ransomware as a service. We got a lot of AI hackers as a service. So that can be a challenge or risk. But on the other hand, the good side is people who's protecting against them also is now innovating AI to be able to be more predictive. So if, for example, you see some of the pattern which is like going to be a potential risk or potential fraud, right? AI will be the one that can help you, because now it's so hard that there are millions and hundreds of millions of people. It's hard for just the good cop to be doing this manually. So AI will be able to help them in terms of being able to scale. So I look at it as like two sides of the things, both the value that AI will help bring, and on the other hand, AI also have the risk. But the key is how you can ensure that you are aware and be able to handle those situations.
Yeah. So thank you for your answer. We got a second question now. Yeah. What is the top consideration before implementing agentic AI in the company?
I will go back to my top two one, which is first, and make sure that we start with the problem. We don't start with the answer.
Yeah.
So what is the root cause of the problem? Because sometimes agentic AI might not solve the problem, but if you found that from the root cause, from the pain point, agentic AI can solve the problem, then the second one for me is how you can ensure that your team are well equipped, or if not, you need to partner with someone who are able to have the technology, the skill to handle that. And last but not least, start with some small pilot or proof of concept. And sometimes those small proof of concept, it doesn't need to be just one, because we know that experiment is a digital twins with failure. If you experiment one, you are successful. You experiment like 5 and you are successful with 5, then it's not experiment. Experiment will always come with failure. If you are experimenting with 10, you get 1 successful, actually that we consider already a success.
Yeah, thank you very much. So it regrets that our time is up today. So hope next time we could have you again to have more information on this AI topic. So please join me to give a big round of applause to 𝗏𝗏 today. Thank you.
And please give a round of applause to both 𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗁 as well. And may I ask 𝗏𝗁 to please give a token of appreciation to 𝗏𝗏. Please give an applause to both of them. Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a short 10-minute break, and then we'll come back into this room, okay? We'll take a short 10-minute break. Now for the media, I'd like to invite you to join Mr. Victor Cheung, CEO, and Mr. Jackie Chang, COO and President of Delta Electronics Thailand, for a special interview session in Salon 2 room. Salon 2, it's just next to this room, okay, for the interview. So please feel free to explore the displays and capture your AI photo at the foyer as well. But please be back here into this room in 10 minutes, okay? 10 minutes break. Thank you.
So heat dissipation is changing from there.
Welcome back to the Delta Future Industry Summit 2025. Now we have 2 panel discussions to go, so let's start up with the first one. But yes, again, I'd like to invite you all to take part in the live poll. So please scan the QR code to submit your answer, because your responses will help our panelists understand your key concerns and prioritize their insights during the discussion. So the next question is, what do you think will be the top priority for future-ready digital infrastructure? What do you think will be the top priority for future-ready digital infrastructure? Energy efficiency, AI-driven automation, cybersecurity, scalability, or talent development? What is the top priority for future-ready digital infrastructure? I think we have a tie here between energy efficiency and AI-driven automation. No, not anymore. It's about energy efficiency and sustainability. About 60%. Quite a consensus on this issue then. So now let's move on to our first panelist discussion on how smart buildings and data centers are shaping the future of digital infrastructure. Please join me in welcoming our panelists on stage. May I invite Kun 𝗏𝗏𝘆 Managing Director, NTT Global Data Centers Thailand Limited, on stage, please. Okay, very huge cheering group there. Next, Mr. Kevin Lim, Head of Group Innovation City Developments Limited. And also Mr. Jacob Sung, Southeast Asia Building Automation Platform, Head of Delta Electronics. Sawadee ka. Thank you for joining our panel discussion today. So basically, I have 3 questions to ask the panelists, and then after that, I'll open up the floor for any questions that you might have as well, okay? So my first question is, what is driving your organization's investments in building automation or smarter data center infrastructure right now? Let's start with Kun 𝗏𝗏𝘆.
Yeah, let me introduce myself first. 𝗏𝗏𝘆, I'm from the probably different world from you guys, from the data center world. So in our business, the energy itself is costly, 30 to 40% of our operating cost. So what we see is that if we can do a saving on the cost, probably 10% of the energy, that's gonna be a really benefit to the company, to the business, right? And also the challenging of the data center also keep changing from the past. In the past, we have like customer who have the requirement of 3 kilowatt per rack, and moving to 6 to 20 kilowatt per rack. Now we have seen 100 to 200 kilowatt per rack in the same footprint. So you can see that the power consumption is getting higher and higher. And also the complexity of data center also getting more complicated. The way we see is that our response time to the event, if something happened, also very limited right now. We used to see in the past in what we call a first generation data center. So we have maybe 5 minutes to respond before the temperature in data center rise to certain limit. And in this era, we see is the second generation. The timing also less and less. So around 2 minutes. Once we reach the third generation, that you know, like 100 or 200, less than 1 minute that we can react. So we don't have a choice. So automation is one of the things that we do, but the automation itself is you can have a different level of automation, not 100% automate. Okay, and just what I mentioned, once we go to the next generation of data center, automation itself also cannot be able to to cope the change and the requirement of the speed that we need to perform. So it's going to be the next, what we call the AI. So with the sensor, with the control, now can be the brain. So we need the brain to help us in order to speed up, in order for us to respond to our customer.
So basically, we have to look at our customers' demand as well. And so that's why we have to invest in all of these automation. Mr. Kevin, please share with us your insights.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Very nice to be here, and thank you, Delta, for inviting me. Just a quick introduction about city developments for those who are not familiar. So city developments, or CDL in short, it's a real estate company. It was founded 62 years ago in Singapore. It's a headquartered company. Right now, so we are both pioneering and one of the leading real estate companies in Singapore. We currently operate in close to 30 countries and regions throughout the world. We have more than 800 operating entities operating throughout the world. So a bit of what I do over there. So my role is to lead innovation across the entire group. So within the group, we have two very big business subsidiaries. One is the Millennial Hotels and Resort Group. If you are familiar with Millennial Hilton Bangkok and Social Phuket, those are actually owned by the Millennial Group. And then on the other hand, we also own a facility management group called CBM. CBM is a 55-year-old. The Millennium, sorry, so backtrack a bit. The Millennium Group celebrates its 30th anniversary this year. And the other subsidiary that we have is a FM subsidiary called CBM. CBM is primarily conducts its FM business in Singapore. It's a 55-year-old company that has been in operation already. So just to go back to the question, because my time is running out. So our investment into smart building platform, primarily we look at three parameters or three factors. The first is actually sustainability. So as we all know, in the building industry, we consume a lot of carbon. When we develop building properties, we actually consume a lot of embodied carbon that goes into the building materials, the building processes. And then when the building goes into operation, a building can typically operate between 50, some even 100-year-old. We actually own a 100-year-old hotel property in Los Angeles called the Biltmore Hotel. So buildings like that even last a century old. So a lot of operational carbon goes into that. So we do acknowledge that this is the bulk of the carbon footprint that our company have. So we have to adopt smart platforms in order for us to monitor and optimize our building operation more efficiently. So the short answer is actually about efficiency. The second one is about operational intelligence. So by having smart building platform, right, that allows us to glean insights from the amount of data that we are receiving from the building. Our buildings operate every day. Some of our hotels generally operate 24/7, 365 days a year. So those buildings generate a lot of data. And in the past, there weren't that much technologies that we could adopt for us to monitor and glean insights through that process. So by getting more insights, the real value of the insight is to then how do we make sense of those data, and then how do we then make it actionable in the way that we would like to decarbonize our building. So for us, we also similarly like Delta, we adopt a science-based approach towards decarbonizing as a property developer.
Thank you. So basically, it's about efficiency and operational intelligence. That's why you have to invest. Let's go to Delta. Kun Jacob.
Good afternoon. So at Delta, our ESG missions is to provide innovative, clean, and energy efficiency solutions for a better tomorrow. So my departments or my team, we evolve in terms of building sustainability solution to help building owners like CDL or NTT and more owners to achieve the SLE and also net zero. So in Delta, we are really very committed to achieve, or we pledge that by 2030, we will achieve RE100. So this is part of my missions, to support within the Delta Group and also to support external customers like NTT and also CDL. So to comply to ESG and local governments, like I mentioned on a net zero or SLE, so my team are also now developing on AI open AI platforms, and also sustainability solutions for building automations. This will align with, I think, most of the organizations around the world to achieve ESG when they want to do business globally. Right. So today, we have already partnered with building owners that we already supported 40,000 buildings. And Delta Solutions and Products, we have already reduced 27 million tons of energy emissions and also saved 45 billion kilowatt hours in electricity.
So basically, Delta is helping other companies to improve their energy efficiency, to protect the environment in a way, and also to be sustainable. Yes. All right, so my next question is, which area of your facilities do you see AI automation can be adopted as a priority for improvement? Khun Sutthipat.
Okay, so just what I already mentioned earlier that our cost structure itself is on the energy, right? So we mainly focus on how we reduce the energy consumption in our data center. From 30%, most of the power that consume a lot of energy, and also we can do something with it, is the cooling system. Okay, so basically, the way we do is this: we need to do better, okay, consume less power, but somehow we also need to maintain our service level to the customer. For example, right now, what we doing, this is just a manual plus the automation. The manual itself is just a learning and keeping all the knowledge with our team. Okay, the way we need to do in our data center, right? So we need to keep the room, the data center room, pressure positive. So we need to intake the air from the outside, keep the room positive. But to keep the air from outside, there are also certain what we call the energy consumption that we need to monitor. How we're gonna pre-cool at what period of time that we can take the power, we can take the air in. So that's also we need to keep monitoring all the things. Okay, that's also will be the base of the knowledge that we did so far. This can become our what we call a knowledge base to be able to have the next level of the AI enabled into data center. This is also one of the things. The other thing that we also looking at is how we improve the process, how we can do it better. Manual, we take some time to do something that we need to learn, probably take 2 months, 3 months. Yeah, but with the AI, probably we can do it faster within probably with the sandbox in the AI, right? So we can do the same thing with the same result within less than an hour. Okay, including all the verification with our team. That's also one of the key things that we plan to do.
Thank you very much. So for NTT, the big issue would be data center. All right, next, Khun Kevin.
Yeah, so I would like to take reference from this morning's opening from Delta's CEO, Thailand, Mr. Cheng, and also Ms. Guo. I think they mentioned 3 items which resonate very deeply with what CDL does as the group. I think the first, it was mentioned about using AI to improve the defects and quality process by up to 20%. So this resonates very much with one of our departments in CDL, which is the customer service department. So CDL right now is the biggest residential developer in Singapore. Recently, we just won the 13th consecutive Quality Excellence Award from the Building and Construction Authority of Singapore. No other property developer has achieved this feat. We rely heavily on manual inspectors to do that. So inspectors who are veterans, they are in their 50s, some even reach 60s, some are very near 70s. Typically, they use their experience to look at, to comb through the entire residential development before we hand over to our home buyers. That process has served us very well for many decades. But if this group of people were to retire in a few years' time, are we able to then train the next group of quality inspector to achieve the same outcome? The likely answer is very uncertain. We are not sure, but we know that the younger generation, Gen Z, I think I see a lot of Gen Z in this room, I don't think the career trajectory you would want to be a quality inspector. Yeah, it's a very boring, monotonous role, but it's very essential. So 3 years ago, we pivoted towards a field of AI called computer vision. I think some of you are familiar with computer vision. A computer is now able to recognize raw images taken from a camera imagery or photograph. So we deploy a very innovative hardware, a camera that has 25 aperture. It spins around. Within a minute, it captures the entire ballroom like this. And it can trigger the back-end engine, which is actually a machine-trained engine, to identify which are the potential defects. For example, in the living room, in the bathroom, in the kitchen areas, and even the external common areas of a residential property. So we are doing this, but we also ran into some difficulties. The accuracy of using a camera to capture vis-a-vis a human eye is very different. So the qualities that, so we are still trying to test it. We are expected to reach 70% accuracy soon, but we will most likely require more computing power in order for us to achieve it. The other one is about digital innovation, which was highlighted earlier as well. So for us, our hotel arm, a couple of years back, we actually started a new digital innovation department, which we combine both IT expertise as well as engineering expertise into one department. We foresaw that in the future, a lot of our hotel operating systems will need such digital innovation expertise to carry out. Gone are those days that you expect an engineer to look at a digital solution and you expect an engineer to manage them. Neither could you. Gone are those days where you expect IT personnel who has been operating IT system to look at digital system. So this hybrid is essential for us in order for us to journey along the digital innovation. So for us, making changes in the company structure is vital, and getting the necessary skilled workforce in is also vital for us to continue this journey.
Thank you. Just a little bit curious, Mr. Kevin, you talk about quality inspection. At this moment, who is performing better, human or AI?
Yeah, so the AI, because I mentioned about a 25 aperture, basically a 360 camera, you just spin it around, within a minute it captures everything. The human eye captures defects or sees defects very differently from a camera. And the one of the key reasons is the way the camera captures images, because due to certain angle and maybe certain light reflectivity. For example, a camera could not capture a scratch on a glass panel. It would just capture the surroundings and then the defect wouldn't be seen. So a lot of such stuff still require human intervention, but we will expect in a couple of years' time, actually not a couple of years' time, probably next year, 70% of the defects could be effectively captured by a single hardware. So that actually relieves the need for a human to do it, because it's very laborious. I'll give you an example, a 3-bedroom unit that we built, probably about 1,000 to 1,002 square feet. Guess how much man-hour is required to do a quality inspection? We send in 2 inspectors, and both of them take 45 minutes. That spinning is just 1 living room, 1 minute. Probably you send it to 10 different locations within the same unit. Within 15 minutes, you will capture almost everything. So the speed of capture is very fast, just that the accuracy is probably, there's some tweaking needs to be done, and more computing power is required also.
Yeah, basically, in data center operation, we are also facing the same thing. I think in our data center in Japan, we deploy the robot to do the patrol instead of people, so that also can reduce the time. That can be one of the key initiatives from NTT Group. Probably we gonna see it in other data center in our group as well.
Thank you. Let's hear from Delta then, Kun Jacob.
All right, I work very closely with building owners and system operators. So I install my building automation system in their buildings. So they always highlight to me that they have high utility bills. How can I reduce? And how do I make the equipment more efficient? So with Delta, I have AI solutions that I captured, or I gather all the data within the buildings. They do the deep analysis. From the deep analysis, the systems also gather data for each individual equipment. So the equipments, from the data, then they will monitor with the raw data coming in from all the sensors, then we'll compare with the equipment's data. So, example, at 8 degrees living temperature of the chill water, that particular chiller, example number 2, is highly performance. So at chiller 1, maybe there is least efficient. So at 8 degrees, my solutions or my platforms can command system 2 to run and switch off system 1. So this will fully optimize in terms of cost saving, reduce of energy. So this will help to optimize. And not only that, the building owners, like engineers, technicians, with my software, there's a chat box, a live chat box where they just key in today, based on the weather temperatures or the environment conditions, how do I optimize the control? The chat box will provide solutions, recommendations. So at this point, the engineer will learn at the same time, and they can deploy. So this software, it will be running on full autopilot. When I say full autopilot, there's also a sections or dialog box telling the engineer saying that, okay, at 2 o'clock, this pump will stop. Right? It won't be just stop, without telling the operator, then they will get shocked. What happened? The system, is it failing? So they will do all those predictive, they will analyze, they'll say, okay, 2 o'clock, I will switch off this pump, at maybe 2:45, I will switch it on again due to the load, the requirements. And all these transfers of knowledge on AI, it's still developing, it's still improving. Definitely, I believe with the building owners, this will be the future for them to reduce.
Thank you. So AI automation, in terms of technology, is improving all the time, getting better and better. All right, so I have my final question here before I open up the floor for any questions you might have. My final question is, what are the key benefits or challenges do you see in adopting edge inference AI in your industry? Kun Suthipat.
Okay, so from data center operator point of view, we may have some what we call a challenge and also some difficulty to deploy what we call a full automate AI into our infrastructure because of the business principle is this: whatever we do the change, we need to communicate with our customer. They need to agree in any period of time. Okay, so for example, we may have Chinese customer who do not want to do anything during the Chinese New Year. Okay, we have at the same building we have European or US customer who do not want to do anything during Thanksgiving and the Christmas New Year time. So there are certain period of time that we cannot do anything. So that one of the key constraints. Plus the thing that we need to do, we need to have a proper documentation, what we plan to do, and what can be the impact. We need to prove and then communicate to customer before they agree for us to do things, to do what I call the change. Okay, that also still in what we call constraint for the our business. But somehow we think that the automate AI probably can help us in terms of the incident management. What I mentioned about incident management is that whatever things happen, okay, the AI can help us to identify and take the action step by step, what we need to do in order to recover it back. So that can be one of the things, one of the issue that, one of the key criteria that it can help us. The other thing would be the performance and also the operation, because of with the AI, after you let it learn the infrastructure, right, you can also let them create the what we call the emergency operating procedure. If something happens, this can be the emergency operating procedure, how you close the valve, how you turn off the breaker, and then we can shorten the time of that documentation, that operation, including the optimization that what I mentioned, that AI can also do a optimization of the power consumption in our data center. Before that, we spend a lot of time to see what we call a simulate scenario, several scenario. But with the AI, it just see the live environment and then let us know that this is going to be the next action that we're supposed to do. Our team is just confirm yes with our knowledge, right? We just confirm yes, please do so. That can be the thing that we're gonna see in the future.
So less time lag, basically. There'll be a shorter time. Kun Kevin?
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, we have a facility management company or subsidiary called CBM. So 5 years ago, or even slightly earlier than that, we actually deployed a on-prem kind of solution. So using Edge AI. So the benefits, we see that the benefits Edge AI provides to us as a building owner and operator tremendous benefit, but there's also a slew of challenges. The very obvious benefit is that using Edge AI, we can actually receive a real-time intelligence at the asset level, which is directly at the building level. So our FM subsidiary actually built a platform to receive such data, and then those data are received by virtue of sensors. So they could be air sensors, temperature sensors, vibration sensors. We integrate those sensors from our main building operating systems, like of course, HVAC is the main operating building system that cannot fail, followed by the lift or vertical transportation systems. We integrate that on our platform, and then those platforms are able to straight away notify our FM or maintenance team whether there's an issue that's happening. So in the past, those in the crowd who are familiar with building management used to be run using a very reactive kind of approach. Maintenance team carry out maintenance using fixed schedule, very manual settings in order to do their work. But gone are those days. We are moving towards a smarter way where FM teams could actually use such systems to then predict and then prevent things from happening. So for us that runs commercial grade A offices, reliability of key building systems are very important. The HVAC cannot be down. Nowadays, our customers are even asking us, not only your HVAC cannot be down, it cannot be too cold, it cannot be too warm. So when cold and warm is also highly dependent on the amount of people. For example, in this room, do you all feel warm? But another factor is also something that we cannot control, which is the external factor. So for example, I noticed that right now it's pretty much cooler in Thailand at the end of the year. Similarly, same for us over in Singapore. So such platforms and sensors could actually take in external weather conditions and then tell the HVAC systems how much cooling load is now required. So all these are used to be done using rule-based and algorithm-based kind of method. But right now, using generative AI, we see the potential that could be done, and hence Edge AI technology or infrastructure is now very relevant for us. The next is about, okay, and then I talk about the key challenges. One of the main key challenges is about integration. So integration means that, our buildings are not always like less than 5 years old. Some of our buildings I mentioned, we have a hotel building that's already a century old. So how do we then integrate those older hardware with newer software? This integration is very difficult. So it boils down to one word called interoperability between the older system and the newer system. How do we get them to communicate? So the comms protocol is something that we pay quite a fair bit of attention to, and also one main thing is then how we get our technology partners, our building operators, and also ourselves as the building owners to come in to collaborate. So I think in the keynote, it was mentioned that collaboration and trust is key. So beyond technology, this is actually the most important part when it comes to making our building smart by adopting Edge AI technology.
Thank you. Yes, Jacob.
All right, I totally agree with Kun Kelvin. So talking about on-prem AI, so clients, some don't feel comfortable with AI sitting on the platform or on the cloud, sorry. So they prefer it on-prem. And on-prem, there's no delay. So whatever data inputs points, straight away to the on-prem AI, and straight away you have dynamic changes in terms of controls and set point. So this is very critical and crucial for the operators. They get immediate notifications. So with the AI that Delta have, we also have FDD. So if let's say you doesn't know what's FDD, will be the fault detection and diagnostic. So we have rule-based where we have the FDD, we can preempt users, system operators saying that, your equipment, your pumps may fail. We are getting all the data, and these are the signatures or signals that is coming in. So going to the next question that Kun Kelvin was mentioning about sustainability in terms of integrations with Edge system. So with my solutions, on my controllers levels, I already support 10 communication protocols. So today, like if let's say Kunkalving's site is age system, 15 years, is using a LON system, long communication. If you all know about video automation, LON has already announced discontinue, but I still connect support in terms of communications. So using my controllers, I do not need to change out the whole LON system. So this will be impact a great cost to replace. So how do we help CDL? I can put in my gateway, my router that support LON communications to link to the existing equipments or controllers, and we can slowly phase it out to upgrade to the latest technology. And these 10 communication protocols are already built in where system operators can just go to the software and switch, do a software selections. They can change different protocols like Modbus to BACnet, example, or even like MBus. There's no additional, burdens to system operators in terms of chargings, licensing. It's already all built in. So when we talk about sustainability, we are really Delta, we are ahead in terms of the ball game in sustainability solutions.
Thank you.
Can I ask some question? Okay, from the AI user point of view. Okay, because of AI actually rely heavily on the sensor.
Yes.
Okay, so because of whatever it detect in the sensor, right, it can perform something.
Yes.
That's what the AI do. How we can ensure that the sensor, the data that leading from the sensor will be accurate all the time?
Oh, okay, very good question. So like temperature there's a sensing elements within. All right, so we need to do calibrations.
Right.
All right. So in a marketplace, there's a lot of people saying that I do calibrations, but the word calibrations means that I take out the sensors, I bring to a lab, I recalibrate it. Right. So what we can do that in Delta, we can help you to recalibrate the whole sensors, bring it to a lab, we do a 3.5-point calibrations, or we bring in a calibrated instruments. Then we take our calibrated instruments, we read, okay, it's 22.3 degrees now, and your sensors may be 24. Then we can do a software offset to bring down. If let's say there's the tolerance, is drift by maybe 1 degree, then I will advise, it depends on the critical of your buildings, and I will advise, you should change the sensor. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I can add on also.
Sure.
So right now, a lot of our older buildings are using an older kind of BMS monitoring system, which is not that smart. So what it means is that we actually centralize our maintenance workflow, as well as we unify all the building maintenance standard operating protocol, or SOP in short, into the same platform. So this is the current way of BMS adoption in the market. Together with our FM operator, if you are third party, the third party will similarly use that kind of approach. But moving forward, we're actually trying it out in one of our retail assets in Thailand, which is 𝗡𝘁₀ retail mall in Phuket. So we are adopting an open protocol system together with a deep tech company coming out from Hong Kong. Unfortunately, at that point in time, I didn't realize that Delta already had such a solution. So we, similarly to what Jacob mentioned, that protocol is designed, that BMS platform is designed on open protocol parameters. So what that means is that they open up APIs to many different plugins that we as a building owner identify that we want. For example, if energy cost is the biggest cost pressure for commercial real estate, then we will want to look at solutions that can optimize energy use, but we need to plug it into the building operating system. So those open APIs allow us to carry out such kind of initiatives without very costly full integration. I think very similarly. So I think this is something I've managed to see before I came over to Bangkok at the Singapore HQ showcase in Singapore. I think it's very promising. I think Delta has already built out a huge ecosystem of partners, because the key is again collaboration. If you do not have a huge ecosystem of partners to work with on building this open protocol kind of BMS platform, then it's very hard to get it deployed into the commercial real estate market.
Thank you. All right, so now I'll open up the floor for any questions that you might have. Please scan the QR code and send in your questions. Okay, I think we have the first question here. Many smart system vendors claim AI-driven optimization, yet most building data is incomplete or inconsistent. How does Delta train its model under those conditions, and what proof shows it truly outperforms rule-based logic in real sites?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think when we talk about AI, gathering of data are very important. So without data, even how smart the system is, they can do deep analysis. So once we gather a lot of data from individuals, verticals, or even buildings or mixed developments, so they start to read, they analyze the behavior. Just like today, we have maybe close to 100 people here, right? So we can analyze the data, the temperatures, the well-beings of you. Are you feeling comfortable? Is it too cold, too hot, too warm, too humid? So from there, once we put in the correct sensors in place, the correct position, and from the occupancy itself, how do you behave? We can analyze and project the commands or the decision to make AI, to reach the optimum. So when you say that there is inconsistent or failure or it doesn't work, I think now when we talk about AI, it's still a learning curve. Everybody is still writing. The AI is still learning from all the data that is absorbing or receiving. So as time goes by, I believe within the next few years, AI will be more stable, right? So the predictive, the commands, the control-wise will be there. So with my current solutions, when I say that there's a dialog box telling the system operator saying that the pump stop at 2 p.m., based on the upcoming weather conditions or the upcoming load within the building, they can predict from there. So even at 2 o'clock, they stop the pump. It's not saying that you're going to stop for half an hour or 1 hour, 2 hours, or up to the next day. So the building loads changes because of more heat loads coming in, more people coming in. So from there, even at 2 o'clock, you stop. Maybe at 2:05, you switch on the pump again. So it's always learning, reading, trying to gather more data. So what is happening within the buildings? Do I need to switch it on or do I need to switch it off? Right.
Maybe I can add on. So CDL, we operate a diverse portfolio of assets from residential, I mentioned earlier, commercial grade A offices, retail malls, and also the biggest portfolio is actually our hotels portfolio. In the UK, we are invested in a couple, other than hotels, we invest in student accommodation assets as well. So those also consume quite a fair bit amount of energy. So different assets have very different consumption pattern. So the best is to look at it across a period of time and see whether we call this thing a data logging exercise. So we data log and then we try to understand the pattern of each building. Commercial office buildings are typically more consistent. We see the data logging don't really differ that much. Hospitality assets, a hotel, very highly depend on whether there's a huge event like a Taylor Swift concert or Coldplay concert. Yeah, so or even a F1. So typically we data log, but those are very, we cannot predict whether there's a spike in demand. So hotels remain a very challenging asset class for us to look at. Retail perhaps falls in between. So yeah, so data logging is very important. So as for how you data log, it also depends on what kind of data that you want to capture. Because if you use historical data, unfortunately, if you use data pre-COVID, the data could not be used post-COVID. Yeah, so there's a change of demographic consumption pattern, whether you are retail, you have the work from home work from home arrangement for a lot of commercial tenants that we have. And then for retail, the shift towards e-commerce has been very big and it has been there to stay as well. Hospitality as well, we see a shift because there are a lot of digital nomads now. In the past, our hotels are not active in the day, but now a lot of people start working in our hotels during the day. So we have to then, we look at data and how it trends across the year. So it's a very active intervention on our part, very similarly to what Delta sees it as well.
All right, another question, okay? The final one. How AI can be adopted in the retail industry? Anyone?
Oh, okay. So probably if you're looking at the AI itself, right, it's about the sensor control and the brain. So from retail industry, you probably heavily rely on how you understand your customer behavior. Like for example, if customer walk into the shop doing some shopping, what the behavior of customer before they actually buy it. So you can use AI in such a way that you analyze the customer behavior and then rearrange certain things to match with customer behavior to get better sales. Okay.
I totally concur with that. So we actually, a couple of years back, we adopted traffic analytics kind of technology over at 𝗏𝗀𝘃. It was from an Australian traffic analytics technology company. So what it does is that for 𝗏𝗀𝘃, every year we receive about 17 million visitors through different entrances. We amalgamate all the entrances, traffic, and then we take a look at it. However, we only could then do a traffic count only at the entrance. When when a tourist, the top demographics usually come from China, Russia, US, and Europe, region, Southeast Asia as well. We do not know what they do in the mall. We only know what time they go in and what time they come out, and which entrance they enter from and which entrance they come out from. So by traffic analytics means that we are able now to map the every journey of the 17 million shoppers in our mall. So we try to look for a very cost-effective solution, because in order to map 17 million, if we were to use very complex technology, we will again require a lot of computing power. So we tried to look at using video analytics through our hundreds of CCTV systems, but unfortunately the CCTV systems still wasn't on IP, and so it was still pretty analog, but we have since upgraded it. But again, the computing system, you require rows and rows of servers to be put into our maintenance or security rooms. So we look at another system which could, using telephone signals. We presume that the bulk of our shoppers use a handphone, mobile phones. Maybe their children don't, but I think it's good enough. So that using, we actually install about close to 70 sensors over 1 million square feet of retail space. Those sensors actually could map out, as you walk along the mall, it could actually map out your journey using if your phone is emitting a signal, it will be able to then receive the signal and map it out. So it's a very cost-effective solution. So this is actually one way how we could use technology, not exactly AI, but technology, and then we overlay an AI layer to then help us to, so we gather the data first, and then we use AI to analyze those data, like what Jacob mentioned, and then we put it into actionable statistics for our retail leasing team, operation team to then take actions on.
Just add on to Kun Kelvin. So for Delta, we also have another solution called RTLS. Sorry. All right. So it's real-time location tracking system. So we don't normally RTLS people or market, they are tracking on assets. So we are now working with a hospital, not a retail. So with hospital is how do we track patients? We're not so-called we are tracking on their movement. We need to know where they are. Let's say the doctor says, this patient is highly critical. Where is he? Maybe a nurse push them to a X-ray room. So from there we can track where's all the patients, the whole process of individual patients within the hospital. So till they discharge. So that maybe we can look into it to implement into retail. Like what Kelvin and also mentioned that we can put a lot of sensors, connect from mobiles, CCTVs, that can be done. Then from there, basically retailers, what they want is all revenues purchased from customers, from consumers, which are the main store that already attracts them, and how can they improve in terms of getting the correct, the shop owners, to sell.
Mm-hmm. All right, just one final question here. How to evaluate the ROI of AI-based building automation investments?
Okay, so when we talk about ROI, return on investment, so we will calculate in terms, we'll do a benchmarking that currently how much energy you use within your buildings. So when we start implementing or doing an audit, after the audit, we start proposing the solutions, and we can surely calculate back or give a rough estimations on the ROI in terms of number of years. How much can we commit in terms of savings? So it will be a joint ventures, what does a client want? If let's say he's talking to me, telling me that, Jacob, I need a 20% down from the current utility bill. So we benchmark 20%. So the initiative that I'm going to propose, can we achieve the 20%? And if let's say out of the 20%, he's only willing to invest $1 million, then what will be the best way to achieve that and the number of ROI? Definitely, we will not try to drag the ROI more than 5 years. So all this needs to be discussed with the users or the owners.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the questions. Please give our panelists a round of applause, please. And I'd like to invite Mr. Jason Yuan, the region head of Southeast Asia, Delta Electronics, on stage, please, to present a token of appreciation to the panelists. Yeah. คุณสุทธิพัฒน์ Thank you very much. I thank you all. That was a very interesting and efficient panel as well. The clock keeps on counting down, you know, and everyone is so on time, so compact and precise in their answers as well. So up next, now as AI continues to shape the future, it is transforming not just industries, but the very environments we work and live in. So in this session, we will delve into the challenges and the potential of AI in creating smarter, more efficient, and adaptive spaces that can truly enhance our industry. So we also have a great lineup of experts who will share their insights, experiences, and vision on powering the small factory with energy intelligence and industrial automation. And once again, before we start, I'd like to ask you all to participate in another poll, a final one. So please take a moment to scan the QR code. So how prepared is your organization or most of your customers to adopt energy intelligence smart manufacturing? Oh, this is interesting. Exploring technologies, but no roadmap yet. Developing roadmap. Oh, developing roadmap. Exploring. So basically it's exploring and developing some kind of roadmap here. Yeah, it's a tie. All right. So we'll now move to this panel discussion on how prepared is your organization or most. This is the question. And so we'll move to our panel discussion here. I'd like to invite the panelists on stage. Mr. Sven Herschel, Vice President, Bosch Connected Services, Asia Pacific, Bosch, Singapore. Next, may I invite Mr. 𝗚𝗏𝘆𝗀𝗀𝗀 Acting Director of Facility Engineering and Maintenance of Western Digital Storage Technologies Thailand Limited. Next, may I invite Mr. Joshua Zhang, Equipment Manufacturing, Operations and Quality Manager of 𝗚𝗏𝘆𝗀𝗀 Industries. And finally, may I invite Mr. Alan Zhou, Southeast Asia Industrial Automation Platform, Head of Delta Electronics, Thailand. Sawadee naka to our four panelists here. And again, I have basically a couple of questions for all of them, and then I'll open up the floor once again for questions that you might have. So my first question is, where are smart energy systems or smart manufacturing technology delivering the clearest business value, like cost savings, reliability, or ESG goals? Let's start with you, Mr. Swen.
Yeah, first of all, thanks to Delta for having us. I think Bosch is quite uniquely positioned in this conversation. Like, we are one of the providers of smart energy solutions, of industrial automation solutions, and at the same time, also a pretty large manufacturer with more than 240 sites worldwide. And so what we are building and selling, we're also using. And so we are our own toughest customer for the products. So where do we see the business value of those smart energy solutions? I think the first one was mentioned a couple of times, is the most obvious and the most clear one. It's by bringing transparency and adding the predictive maintenance to it. But I brought you a story maybe a little bit unusual on how smart energy systems actually play into this. First one, like when a motor starts drawing 10%, 15% more energy than usual, then that's not only energy waste, that's also a maintenance signal. So it's like something is wrong. And so even though the motor still keeps running, you can switch the mode from being reactive and waiting till it breaks towards actually looking like what's going on and fixing it before it breaks. And so then you're not only cutting the energy waste, you're also reducing the downtimes. And that's why in one of the opening keynotes at the very beginning, it even was shown like 50% of downtime reduction can be achieved. And so that's through some of those results, for example. Yeah, second one, smart energy systems really excel at a peak of use rates and then time of use rates. So it's like when we start shifting production loads that are non-critical to off-peak times, then we're severely cutting down on energy costs. So when it's like when it's cheap, use a lot of energy. When it's expensive, try to avoid using lots of energy. So essentially, peak shaving as a big cost saver. And last not least, when we are looking at like using smart energy systems to also use for compliance reporting, for energy reporting, for ESG reporting, that's where some magic happens, because once you start automating this, then it could even be turned into a strategic asset. So for example, imagine sustainability-linked financing. And suddenly, those instruments start opening up if you have an automated way of collecting, tracking, and managing your energy in that sustainable way. And I think those three topics were probably the ones that I see as the most obvious ones. Thank you.
Thank you. Khun Angkhan.
First of all, thank you for having me today. My name is Angkhan. I come from Western Digital Storage Technology. I am the one who taking care of the house of the Western Digital. So that's why I'm trying to give a good answer from the question that you are giving to me. So what I did is I just throw those 4 questions in the Gen AI, and then I got 2 pages of an answer here, right? So and then I don't need to answer that much, right? So come back to the question, right? So we have to think about the reliability first, right? So in order to have those type of the smart factory or those type of the network that we can take the control of our utility and all that, right? So the bottom line is we have to take control of the reliable of our utility, because of day to day we produce the drive, a lot of drive that are going to be produced. So even we have like one power set, right? We have to take action faster in order to know those type of the sack that are coming into our factory. We have to have the system to keep monitoring of those power, right? So because of the more downtime we have, is the more cost is generating, right? So we have to put those reliable on the number one for the system that we are taking control of. The second one is the cost saving, right? So we know that the cost saving is the bottom line that the corporate or the company would like us to take advantage. So to have this type of system in our factory, even though we don't have a very smart or intelligent system in our factory yet, we are in about like, diagnosis stage of the AI and all that. I mean the IoT and all that, but we still capable to do the cost saving out of those type of the, like Kevin have mentioned, right? So we have to take care of the, the old system and the new system to talk each other. That is one big challenge that we have to let the two systems between old and new system talking to each other. Moreover, we have to let our system, the UD system, talk the same language with the production machine. That is another big challenge that we have to working on. So that's why, in order to have this type of the smart factory or smart maintenance, so it will help us in the two into the two element that I have described. Another one is the ESG goal. Obviously, when you have those type of power reduction, right? So the ESG goal that we have target is quite tough. We have to be like RE100 by 2030. So which means like without those type of the monitoring system, without those type of the IoT machine learning, we're not gonna beat our target in the next 5 years. So that's about it for this question.
Thank you. Joshua, please.
First off, thank you for inviting us from 𝗏𝗏 & Sofa Industries. And we are a provider of interconnect solutions. We do manufacturing of capital equipment. And I'm very glad to be here today. I'm also very humbled that my customers are actually right next to me, both Bosch and WD. But they've also contributed a lot to our ESG journey. And so first off, just like the poll, right, I want to share a SEMI study that affirms the challenges of semiconductor manufacturing. And it found that 78% lack an end-to-end digital transformation strategy or roadmap, which is kind of consistent with what we saw. 55% are missing a critical data science infrastructure. And 40% are held back by budgets and low ROI. So what we've done is we've taken these insights and we have leveraged on it to build pillars that support AI and analytics value in smart manufacturing. So we don't want to just do technology for the sake of technology, but we want to have value for customers. However, like it was said before, you can't do this alone. So we did this through collaboration with our customers to develop value to them. So the equation is this: data science foundation comes first. You add insight to that, and on top you add action, and that equals value. So what have we done at K&S? We have we have employed data engineering teams to build automating the data pipeline. And then we also tap on our domain experts through AI to unlock the domain expertise. And through that, we get actionable insights. And with these two, we achieve value delivery to our customers by doing AI inference models. And it's also through collaboration with our customers in problem solving. So K&S Smart Manufacturing Technology has a dual role. One is in-house, and the other one is we embed our technology into our products. So the first one, where it's in-house, we have smart factory automation, where you do predictive maintenance, process analytics, adaptive automation. And then the second one is sustainability tracking. We monitor energy usage and resource efficiency. And on the customer-facing technology, we integrate smart technology into our bonders and equipment and software platforms. So at our customer sites, sometimes we have like 500 or 1,000 machines. And in order to monitor them, we have a smart platform called KNeX. And this provides factory-wide connectivity through IoT. We do fleet management, and we also provide AI analytics for these customers. Beyond that, we have our advanced solutions machines and called Aptura systems, where we integrate smart bonding technologies with built-in diagnostics and recipe optimization. We also use AI agents which embedded virtual assistants to help in troubleshooting, recipe tuning, which gets quite complicated. So if you ask me which are the business values, right? Cost savings and reliability would be the two top ones at this point. Maybe just a bit more, I'd like to give an example, right? So in one of our customer sites, we worked with an AI-based vision system for operations digital twin. It's something where you use the AI vision to optimize factory layout with an AMR and people. And through this AI adoption, they were able to get benefits of OEE improvement of 20%, gross margin improved by 45%, and overheads reduced by 22%. So I think that's a clear example of the benefits. Thank you.
Thank you. Alan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alan. I'm in charge of the industrial automation for Delta Southeast Asia. So it's also my pleasure. All the panelists on the stage is my customer base. So it's a good opportunity to listen the voice of customer. So all of them already touched some key point, no matter it's cost saving, reliability, or ESG goal. So Delta try to contribute to the measurable value when we're doing this kind of, no matter smart energy system or smart manufacturing. I think it's quite important. Because no matter for AI, IoT, cloud service, it's kind of tool to help to improve what we can do. But I just want to emphasize, AI is just a tool, but the technology always should oriented from the human. So the innovation, the creation is from our side, and how we leverage this tool can work properly. And no matter it's for the ESG goal, so we try to contribute, like when smart energy system or smart manufacturing system is visible, but it should be partial of our operation, not only just for the ESG report. I think this is the key point. We want to really have the business value and embed our daily operation.
Thank you, Alan. Now I have a question specific for Joshua. Since K&S is the key machinery supplier to advanced semiconductor manufacturing, how does your company actually adapt to the different strategic needs of different customers, especially in energy saving?
Right, so again, my two customers here, they have been instrumental in driving our ESG roadmap and also into smart manufacturing. Due to the complexity of the advanced semiconductor manufacturing, customers actually see value in scalable solutions that drive efficiency and innovation. So that's what we found, that they want that on the factory floor. So we started a journey of our own. In 2017, K&S started a smart factory digital transformation journey where we automated and improved our data. We did data cleaning and analytics. And beyond that, to accelerate the progress, we went on to establish a smart manufacturing solutions division in 2024. So that's kind of recent. And this represents a significant leap forward in our commitment to sustainable innovation within this semiconductor capital industry. So within a year, we were able to achieve some quick wins into smart factory automation, equipment, fleet management in our customer factories, and even AI-driven data analytics. So we have something called the KNX Smart Manufacturing Platform, and this enables factory-wide connectivity at our customer sites and also data management necessary for useful AI/ML, like earlier Jacob had mentioned, right? Without proper data, even if you have the best systems, it's no use, right? So one of the key goals for us is to deliver scalable solutions and light out automation, which has its own benefits. So now KNS is moving on to an AI transformation journey. So you see, we started in 2017, and then it's only now that we're starting on our AI transformation journey. So I'm also humbled that, I'm talking to AI leaders here, and we're still taking, we're maybe, still on the first few rungs of the ladder. However, our vision is to make AI a core enabler of efficiency, innovation, and customer value. However, on the ESG side of things, right, which is more my area, customers have been looking for like net zero and Paris Agreement. So we have aligned our ESG goals to their goals. And the things that they want would be like high performance, less energy. So they want energy efficiency in our equipment to deliver to them, such that they want us to consume 20 to 30% less energy consumption. So we have to make that a design priority, and we have started. We are lowering, customers want us to lower the total carbon footprint of our products. And if you know, a bonder has 20 to 30,000 parts easily. And how do you even measure the carbon footprint? So what we've done is we've started with product decarbonization workshops. And thanks to WD, they have given us sort of an AI calculation tool called the CO2 AI. And that allows us to sort of project some values in terms of carbon footprint for our product to establish a baseline. So all these are things that we've started because our customers have been helping to give us a little push in that direction. But at the same time, there's, because of so much greenwashing, there are customers that want a responsible disclosure. So in Singapore, we're pursuing ISO 14064-1 GHG emissions reporting, so that we have a framework that we are aligned to. And then finally, in terms of customers like Bosch, they want us to disclose our scope 1 and 2 GHG emission targets, how much we can reduce. So we've disclosed that in CDP and our sustainability reporting. The next one will be our 10th sustainability report. And then that it would include a double materiality assessment. We're also putting in TCFD. And so all of this are aligned to even the SB 261 requirement in the US. And finally, on the procurement of energy, as mentioned earlier, it's kind of difficult in Southeast Asia. So where we're not able to get green energy, we would go for RECs. Yeah.
Thank you. So we have been discussing about energy efficiency and its business value. I'd like to ask the rest of you then, how do you make sure that your energy and automation strategies actually work across different sites with varying energy demands? Sven?
That's a really good question, because different sites also have different characteristics. So they may differ in how modern they are, how digital they are. They may differ in what they're actually producing, what their energy demands are. And so what we've come up is like a concept where we are combining the best of both worlds. Essentially, it's template-based customization. So that means that we have standardized a few of the things that we find non-negotiable. Think of it like the iOS in your phones. So that's the baseline layer. It comprises things like security. It defines like what is the data language on how data is being exchanged between sites, etc., etc. And then each site has their individual app, if you will. So essentially, this is the customization then per plant, per production site. And this adapts then to the local requirements. But because they all run on the same operating system, on the same security measures, on the same data language, etc., it's like they can be easily combined. So as a foundation, you have this common UI, you have this common IT landscape, this common security landscape, the common data landscape. And then on the intelligence layer, essentially, you have the adaptations that are then for each site also individualized and customized. Yeah. The last aspect maybe to mention on this one, in order to achieve this, there's recommended to have a center of excellence. So to have some kind of a governance influence across the company that makes sure that all of the non-negotiable parts, the standardization, these layers are also properly adopted across your production sites, and that also support with the customization and how to do it and how to not lose the connectivity to the overall. In a later topic, we'll also see why this is so important, but for now, I think this should be enough. Thanks.
Thank you, Khun Angkhan.
Yeah, thank you. For the Western D, right? So the standardization is a key, and also the clear picture of the target that we are going to hit, right? So we have we use the scalable framework to allow the customization based each site of the energy profile, right? So with the variable demand that in the same target, okay, by combining the centralized data analytic to the local control, okay. So we got those type of benchmark between the site. We also have the database that every site have to be input those type of reduction, those type of saving. Not only energy, we even take a look into those type of the CO2 emission on the scope 1, which is like chemical type of the thing, right? So, and also water that we also have take a look at it. So, as you may already know, right? So WD is the first company in Thailand who got those like the 4IR advanced, the World Economic Forum. So in order to implement the automation to serve those type of the technology, so we have to come up, like what I have mentioned, like we have to come up with the requirement of the user, right? So if we even take a look on the compressor pressure that we are feeding into our automation machine, right? So we set the baseline. We don't go with the unit of like Pascal. We go with the unit of the PSI, because the PSI is more smaller scale, right? So when we have those type of the reduction of the compressor, it will give us more challenge in terms of the number that we can reduce. That is the one of the set example that we have working on. So to answer directly to this question is we have to have a good standardized, and we have to have the baseline, the same baseline requirement from the user in order to monitoring and also the same database that every site that can be sharing the best practice and benchmark each other.
Thank you, Alan.
After I get this kind of feedback, Delta try to provide the value is, I agree, we should align in the beginning. Like we want to coding or write a program, we should have the whole structure in the beginning. In case we want to run in a different site, but we also have a verified energy saving topic. So we try to provide like a module platform, okay, which can help us to this kind of architecture allow us can scalable deployment, but you can based on your phase or your different site, but easy to extend or enlarge your system. So this kind of concept, not only for the monitoring, and we also want to try to embed it some technology like the IoT data mining. And once you get more database, you can easy to implement no matter for machine learning or this kind of technology to get more predict and the maintenance is also quite important. Another way is, I think we monitor the operation side, the factory side. We should try to mix the governments and also autonomy, how to balance this portion. And we should let our whole system with the resilience and also flexible to verify your different site or different location, but you can also balance your energy and the automation strategy.
Thank you. I have one final question for our speakers here, okay, before I open up the floor. Have you found centralized or distributed systems work better for managing energy use in your facilities? Let's start with you, Sven.
So you have to ask yourself, like, what is the question behind this question? So what is the problem? What is the problem that wants to be solved by this? we have seen that it's very beneficial to actually go for a hybrid approach in the end. And what do I mean with this? So the edge intelligence, so the stuff that runs at your production site, of course, that's the one that's like super low latency. So that's the one that controls the production, the operational schedule, because you can't afford cloud latencies for industrial processes. At the same time, it's like you can use this cloud layer to aggregate the data, to do the number crunching, to do the analytics, and to actually improve those industrial processes. And so the magic happens when both of the approaches, centralized and distributed, play hand in hand together. So you have essentially the edge intelligence to run the operations day to day. And you have the cloud to do the AI and to optimize those processes. And so you push then the optimized processes back into the edge. They run, and you have this real-time feedback essentially from your production on what works, what doesn't, and how to make things better. Another way to look at this is maybe a bit pragmatic. It's distributed always helps with resilience. So your sites become operationally a bit more independent from each other. And so it's a resilient production, resilient to energy disruptions, resilient to cloud and data disruptions, etc. Centralized, of course, give you the enterprise level insights. And maybe to add one last perspective, also a very pragmatic approach, as we said, like sites differ very, very widely. And so a distributed approach is a good one in a brownfield environment where there's also lots of maybe older and legacy machinery in place. Then distributed makes the most sense. Centralized can be afforded if it's like greenfield and really starting from scratch and being able to do very, very highly standardized from the very beginning. And so it's like find the path that suits itself best to your specific requirements and try to see also whether this hybrid approach adds the most value for you.
So you do use both?
Correct. So they both play hand in hand. And they have different roles and responsibilities in the overall worldwide optimization of production.
Thank you, คุณอังคารค่ะ.
Yeah, pretty similar with the Sven that have mentioned, right? So in the building, we have the centralized system to connect the power, the utility across the building, right? So the good thing of the centralized is you can share the utility from building to other building, right? So for example, like when you have the requirement of like 2,000 tons of the, you know, the HVAC, the refrigerant ton, right? So you are running like a 3 chiller to support the 2,000 ton, right? So somehow that you used to run like 3 of 700,000, for example, right, to meet those 2,000 ton, right? So when the requirement had dropped down to like 1,000 ton, what you're gonna do? You're gonna run two chiller to cover on that 100 ton. 1,000 ton. Not. We cannot do like that. We have to share another 1,000 ton from other loop in order to kick into the requirement. So that will help us in order to optimize the supply from the chiller plant. That is one of the example, right? Not only those the saving that we do better, we have the centralized, what we call the command center in our facility office. So to take control of the monitoring for the whole campus, we got 7 different buildings, inside of the campus. So it's hard to have like the individual team to taking care of each building. So we can do that way, but it's gonna be, take the resources a lot. So that's why we have to centralize those infrastructure in one area. And also we have the hybrid system, like, we have the individual control person on the control of some of the system that we are inside of the centralized. So we can have the mixture of the centralized and the individual control of our infrastructure in WD. So the bottom line is to do this way, like obviously we can have the reliable of the whole campus, and also we can have those type of the fast response in the front line. We not just keep on of those technicians in the same location, right? We have spread out on of those technicians in the individual location. So we have the control system for the centralized. We have the manual, which is our technician across the building to taking care of our infrastructure. Yep.
Thank you. Maybe Alan can tell us about the pros and cons of these centralized or distributed systems.
This is always a pro and cons. And I hear not only from our panelists here, also get many customer feedback. Now always try is in a hybrid way is the best, because centralized is we really want to get all the data on the cloud. We can easy to monitor all the different sites and across different facility, but maybe slow response and not really real time is come pinpoint. So we still need to have some the decentralized or distributed system, which is more flexible, and you can put some edge computing on site and the quicker response any demanding change, and ongoing to ensure you will not have another additional running cost. So this is overall, I think, a customer on this stage. And what Delta try to do is, I think, how to provide some modern smart factory network. Is maybe based on the same communication protocol. For example, in production line, now we have some protocol for the SMT line, like we so-called is 𝗚PC-CFX. This is kind of the standard protocol, easy to do the machine-to-machine communication. And once you build up this kind of network, you easy to, no matter you want to distribute or you finally centralize, you are based on the same communication protocol. You easy to integrate together. And of course, Delta provide the value is not only pure on the hardware, and we also try to integrate with software together. Then once based on the software side, we easy and also flexible, we can extend your requirement and get more like in the second question, we talk about how to build up a modularized platform architect to fulfill. We continuously extend your manufacturing base or your facility energy consumption, so they will move to more sustainable.
So it totally depends on the facility's needs and demands. So now I'd like to take questions from the floor. Please scan the QR code, and then we'll show the questions that flow in from you all. Okay, the first question. Must smart energy always include renewable energy, and why? Anybody?
Maybe taking a stab at this. The goal behind is, I think we have this established, that we are here for innovation, for sustainability, and for partnerships. And this is also I think, the topic of the summit. And so especially on the sustainability side. So we need to see like, okay, we only have one planet, at least for now. And so it's like, we need to look at this topic, how do we decarbonize our industries? How do we move forward? And why renewable energy is widely accepted to be play a big part in this journey. Smart energy actually enables renewable energy, I would argue, because renewable energy has very different delivery patterns usually. Like during the day, the sun shines, and at night it doesn't. And of course, we also have our partners at Delta providing lots of energy management systems at scale to buffer this a lot. But renewable energy is much, much more difficult to handle in general for running a production. And so I would say, must smart energy always include renewable energy? I'm thinking no. But does smart energy enable renewable energy? I would say resounding yes.
Yeah.
I must say, renewable energy is not the whole because we run in a production line, run in a factory. If we rely on this, it's not really reliable. So how to use the renewable energy and combine with like the energy storage system, we will also become another hybrid type. Then this is the right way. You can ensure your facility or your factory production line can run in properly, but also you also get some, because the renewable energy also is partial when we do in the ESG. This is also quite important part. So we should consider both ways and do two approach together. I think this is the right way. So it must include, but you also should consider how to robust all the energy consumption in your factory side or operation side, facility side.
Yeah, I agree with that. So we must consider the renewable energy and the smart energy, but we have to split this thing out, right? So we have to think about how are we going to consume energy with the smart approach. The renewable energy is some other thing. Whether or not it's the renewable energy or the fossil energy, it depends on the source. Okay, we park the source of the renewable energy aside. But no matter renewable energy or fossil energy, you have to come up with a smart energy. Smart energy means like how smart that you consume the energy. So it can be included in the future, but not now. Like what I have mentioned, right? In Thailand, we don't have that sort of the renewable energy in the near future. We have to wait until like those type the third-party access law in from the government. That is the big gating that we are facing to, right? So.
All right, so the next question, thank you, the panel, for the insights. So the question is, what role will digital twins and AI play in predicting and reducing energy waste across automated production lines? And are any of you using this? That's interesting.
Let me contribute to my comment first. As I mentioned, no matter digital twin or AI is kind of the strong tool to help our improvement. But before this, we need to ensure we really have enough and the correct and the right data mining in the base. Then we can really come out a good result. Otherwise, it's kind of like a garbage in, but a garbage out. So normally we will encourage customer, if you want to improve your no matter smart energy, smart manufacturing, smart automation. Okay, the first step of the digitalization, I think, is how to build up the right dashboard. You can easily to manage all the database, but based on the right collection way, and you get this. Then after this, you can pure through like the AI way, no matter which kind of machine learning or deep learning way, you really can get it. And the twin is also like this. If you don't get the data detail or accurate enough, maybe your twin just an animation. It's not a really twin. It's like a cartoon you do, or it's like a 3D simulation, but it's not really the twin. So I think it should be step by step. Then you really can use this tool, become powerful.
Yeah. To add to this, the digital twin, what is a digital twin? So digital twin is essentially a representation of your machine, of your process, that gives you transparency and that gives you control. And so in that sense, when we're talking about smart energy, then yes, we need those digital twins, and we need them to be of high quality, of high accuracy, of low latency. All of these things play together in order to be able to then start predicting and reducing energy waste. AI is the tool that detects the patterns, that figures out, okay, where is actually the energy waste? And in order to be able to detect it, as much data as possible should be collected, and this data must be high quality. Because what we are calling waste tomorrow, we are not calling waste today. So even AI helps us to understand, okay, where is additional potential? Where can we save more energy and where can we become better? So definitely a very, very exciting time to be alive.
Let me chime in as well. So I think earlier I mentioned that there was an example of how our use case at our customer site where we use vision and AMR. So that is done through a digital twin. Won't go too much into the details, but maybe let me cite another example for our own in-house factory. We have automated within stations and also between stations. So when we use AI to sort of come up with AI inference, right? You sort of create a model, and this model would end up giving you the value to cut on the waste, reducing energy across the whole production line because you're going from station to station. And it predicts downtime, and it would increase your uptime as well. So the model sort of has a feedback loop, so closed loop. So it gets better and better over time with more data. And that's how we're able to get reliable, fault-tolerant automation that maintains the uptime and quality. We have automation OEE dashboards where our engineers are always monitoring to improve the equipment performance. So all this moves towards like a lights out manufacturing that we're hoping to get more and more of our equipment into, and also be able to sell to customers. And all this has its own benefits, right? In a lights out factory, you reduce HVAC, lighting, and other energy overheads because there's no human involved. So we're looking at really operational resilience, but we not necessarily need to achieve a digital twin, because to get there, you need to take the baby steps first. And part of that is the AI inference model that you create. Yeah.
Yeah, let me add a little bit more, right? So I am not a big fan of the AI, right? So all I know that those guys, the engineering guy, they have the OEE report, they have the, how many testers they are going to run every day, right? The big challenge of the building right now is the engineering team had on absorbed of the AI, okay? But our facility team still in this state. We are trying to let our system talking to the production machine in the same language. Right now, we are talking like baby language, right? So those guys are in like in the big guy language already. So to make those systems between the infrastructure talking to the machine in the same language will obviously reduce the consumption, will obviously reduce the waste of the power or of the utility that's supplying to the automation. Yep, we are trying to do that, and we will do that.
Thank you very much. And I thank you for all your questions as well. And please give a big round of applause to our panelists here for sharing with us their insights. And once again, I'd like to invite Mr. Jason Nguyen on stage to present a token of appreciation to the panelists, please. Thank you very much. I thank you all. Now, as we come to the end of today's summit, on behalf of Delta Electronics Southeast Asia, I'd like to extend the deepest appreciation to all our speakers, panelists, and guests for joining us at this summit. Today's discussion has shown us why transforming industry with AI, automation, and energy is vital for Southeast Asia's future, because it's about staying competitive by being sustainable and resilience in a rapidly changing global economic landscape. Now, from our opening sessions to the special addresses and fireside chats, we have seen how these technologies are reshaping industries, making them smarter, cleaner, and more connected. We have heard about the importance of innovation that goes hand in hand with sustainability, how AI is evolving from automation to autonomy, and how energy intelligence is powering the next generation of smart factories and digital infrastructure. Through every session, one message actually stands out very clearly too. When technology, creativity, and collaboration come together, Southeast Asia can lead the transformation toward a smarter and greener industrial future. So once again, thank you very much for being part of today's event. And there's just one more request I would like to make. Please be so kind as to complete the survey that will help us to make a better experience for you in our future events. Once again, the QR code will be shown on the screen. And then lunch will be served on the 9th floor. And after lunch, please return your lanyard at the drop box in front of the elevators on the 9th floor. Now, for those of you who are not joining for lunch, please be so kind as to return your lanyard at the drop box on the gold table in the foyer area. So thank you so much once again. And to go to the 9th floor, take the elevator up, but a lot of people here, limited elevators, so just please be patient, or you can just walk up one floor and then take the elevators from upstairs as well. So thank you very much for joining today's event. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a wonderful day. ขอบคุณค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ